Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back to another look at an early access game. And this time we're having a look at This War of Mine by 11-Bit Studios. Now in this game, you are not a soldier but an ordinary civilian, trying to survive day to day in a war-torn country. You will need to hide from the never-ending battle during the daylight hours and use the nights to go out scavenging for food, medicine and other vital supplies you will need to remain alive another day. You'll also need to make some very difficult decisions with other survivors guarding their supplies. And sometimes you may need to make the hard decision on whether your group's survival is more important than other people's survival. This is a very dark, gritty game, and one that really appeals to me. We're going to be trying the story mode today, and we're going to be playing with Katia Bruno. She is a journalist who was working in this country and has been trapped alongside many of the citizens. Let's have a bit of a look. We joined Katia in an old, run-down house along with a few other people she was lucky enough to run into. Daylight hours are extremely dangerous to be outside in. There are soldiers, tanks, planes, all sorts of deadly obstacles out there. So we need to use the daytime to gather the materials around our base, to build and to craft to be ready for nighttime. When the Civil War broke out, many people thought it would only last a couple of weeks. It's been years since government and military surrounded the rebels in the capital, cutting off all supply lines. The civilian population trapped in the city are suffering from hunger, disease and shelling. Katia met Pavel and Bruno before the war. She used to be a reporter, while Bruno had his own television cooking show. Pavel was the star of the local football team. Katia even interviewed him once. Now they meet in drastically different circumstances, looking for food and shelter. So we've got our three characters, and we have our shelter here. So we need to begin to look through here and try and find some supplies. So I'm going to have Bruno go through one of these piles of rubble. And we'll have Katia go through another one. And we'll have Pavel work on the top floor. In fact, we'll have Pavel work on that pile there. So they are going to clear through the piles of rubble. And that's going to give us, hopefully, some supplies we can use to begin crafting what we need to craft. Everything we find can be used to make different items and different workstations, such as metal workstations. We can make a stove to keep us warm. We can make a cooking station or a campfire to cook our food. And we also need to worry about things like beds for our characters to be able to sleep in. Go. So every time we go through one of these, we have a chance to find different materials. Now I'm going to try and head out the back and see if we can search out the back too. It looks like Pavel's done with his work. Let's get him up onto the top floor. So I'm really hoping to find enough material to build a crowbar, because we're going to need it to open up things like this door. Okay, that door is locked. That's okay. You can hear the sounds of gunfire in the background. You can see the buildings burning, and the city is under siege. Luckily, while our home is somewhat destroyed, there are still many items we can use to help us out, so we're going to be hopefully building a metalwork station that'll let me build a crowbar so I can start cracking open some of those locked doors. There we go. So we can just pop the station in a different area where we need it. I'm reckoning... No, we'll pop it there for now. So that'll let me make basic tools and hopefully some weapons as well. Really helpful. And it looks like we've got a lockpick, but I'm not going to use the lockpick. That is better used in scavenging operations when we're away from home to open locked doors. The ambient noise in this game does really well to set the mood too. There's the sound of explosions, there's barking dogs, there's people screaming, and there's a lot of people hiding in the various houses, all trying to do the same thing that we are. And it's a question, you know, who decides who gets to survive? By taking supplies, we could be depriving other people of things they desperately need. There we go, we've got everybody crafting. We're gonna get Kate building building a crowbar. We're gonna need that on our mission. A little bit of food, that's okay. Now you can see up the top there's a timer, and when that timer gets to night time, roughly about 8 o'clock, then we can go outside. There's a couple of doors that we need to crack, but I think we've done fairly well opening up what we need. Just going to have Powell walk over to this door, and he's going to force it with our newly made crowbar. Now, characters in the home base share tools, so we don't have to worry about moving one character to a location and having that character use the tool. As long as nobody else is using the crowbar, anyone can use it. Oh, there's some medicine. Nice. Okay, so we've done a fairly good job. We've only got one more thing we need to get. I'm going to crack this open. We've got a little over 4 hours before we have to venture out. In good shape. We might have Cartier create some more tools for us. I'm wondering if I can make a weapon. Okay, need weapon parts. That's okay. So a little under 3 hours before it's go time. And we're going to see if we can build some other things. So what would really help us, I think, would be it's a toss-up between a rainwater collector and a bed. I'm thinking this is probably more critical. We need water, so we'll get her building that. We're nearly there. So we've managed to build a basic metal workbench, and we've got a water collector on the way. We've got a little bit of food, a little bit of medicine. We've got a little bit over an hour before we have to head out, and then we also had to choose whom is going to take the risk of setting foot outside our home. Let's crack this open. Okay, we've got a rainwater collector. Now we're going to need to build a filter for that. Okay, so I'm going to build one filter. There we go. So we're in good shape. Now, it's about to get nighttime, and it's time to begin our nighttime scavenging operation. And it is now time for us to go on our nightly scavenger hunt to try and get the materials for our group to remain alive a little bit longer. Now, Katia is a little bit sick, so she's going to stay home and sleep. Bruno is a good cook, but Pavel is our fastest runner, which may come in handy, and he can also carry the most. Now the final choice is who is going to go to what location. So Pavel is going to go. He has a choice of an abandoned cottage. A family barricaded themselves in this house, but despite their efforts, looters got inside. It's been abandoned ever since. Okay. They say that some people still live here against all odds. They must have supplies stocked like canned food and bandages or medicine, but they don't want to trade. And a quiet house, a housing estate that remains almost untouched. It's a calm area of little houses with porches and gardens. Most of the houses are still inhabited. People are trying to lead normal lives here. We've got nothing to look there unless we're willing to steal. So I think of the three, this is the lowest risk, and given we don't have any weapons, I think that's probably a good place to start. I'm going to take some lockpicks with me, in case there's anything that we can force open. The looters must have been in a hurry, there's a lot of stuff left. Now there's no guarantee this house is empty. We need to be very careful. And a giant sign on the wall saying snipers, probably not a good sign. We've got some materials. Let's have a look through the door. Okay, nothing there. And I see another way for us to go. Our goal is food and medicine primarily. I think we've got enough of these. Let's take what we can though. We'll leave the teddy bear. No offense, teddy bear, but we have to prioritize. I wonder what this is. A family photo of parents and two daughters. Good thing the girls don't resemble their father. He looks like a bear. Here's a fridge. Ah, here we go. So we got food and water. I think we have to prioritize the food and water. I think that's a pretty good spread of items there. We're going to leave those shell casings behind. We're going to take the sugar. Anything food related is probably going to be something we want to prioritize. Okay, looks like there's more stuff here, but let's not press our luck. I'm going to crack open this door. And we'll be on our way. Thankfully, a rather uneventful trip. We got a very good spread of items. And I've been mispronouncing his name. It's Pavle, not Pavel. And that was the end of the first day of this war of mine. I am going to be playing more of this game, but I wanted to show you the first part, and the developers also kindly given me the expansion. So there is an expansion for this game called Fading Embers, where there are additional stories, additional characters. I would love to cover more of this game, and I will be playing more at some point in future. If you like this episode, let me know. Let me know if you are intending on playing this war of mine, and if you have, I'd love to hear some tips and tricks. I hope you join me next time when we have a look at another indie game. Until next time, Skill Incarnate out.